A big thank you to BTT, Bondtech and Printy Please for sponsoring live streams on Vector 3D. You can find out more via the links in the video description. Right, we're back again with more Voron V0 upgrades, and of course we're sponsored. You've just seen that message, so you know what's going on. So the whole desk is looking a little bit messy and there's lots of things going on. I was trying to get things tidied up before we started the stream today, so I had some space to, do the firmware configuration and stuff, but didn't have time. So it's all a little bit chaotic. But since the last stream, I have managed to get the electronics kind of compartment pretty tidy. I'm not going to be doing any more than that. I think this is sufficiently tidy. Everything's kind of held in place, out of the way. Fans in, this is in. I've reduced the spacer length to 14 millimeters, and that now sits in there nice and tidily, and the door closes. It catches on this bottom part a little bit, and that's just because the hinge can wobble a tiny bit. If I hold it up, then it doesn't do it. It just is perfect. Not much we can do without that, really. But that's really good. We do need to fix this in place, and this will cause a slight issue, I believe, because of the screw head, but I'm not going to worry about that right this minute. Nuts in here. I don't know why there's so many extra nuts. Oh, they were for other things that we now not using. Anywho, oh yes, hello everyone, by the way. Oh, I seem to have something in my eye, which is really inconvenient to have right at the start of a live stream. So plan is, again, maybe a couple of hours, 2 or 3 hours today. I'm going to be focusing on doing the firmware configuration. Oh, I've just got really dry eyes. Yeah, mainly firmware configuration today. So I think we're going to go with mainsail instead of fluid this time, just because I've not done a mainsail install yet. RatOS is using mainsail, whereas at the moment I've got Voron using Klipper, Voron using fluid. They seem to be pretty the same in terms of the overall interface, but today I'm going to do mainsail just because I've not done one live. Well, I've not done one at all yet, actually, so that'll be a bit interesting, I think. That is the main goal. Now, one of the things to bear in mind with this setup is that the BTT Pico does not have an SD card slot. So for flashing the firmware is a little bit different. Hopefully I've got an appropriate cable, that USB cable that we had before. I'll have to move the printer to over here maybe to do that. So yes, that might be a bit interesting. I'd probably recommend trying to do that before you install it into the case. Might make things a little bit easier, but it should be accessible in there anyway. So, and hey, it's a tiny printer, it's easy to move. If you're using a larger printer, that may not be the case, so just be aware of that. We're on low numbers today. Noted, Olaf, thank you. I know there's going to be things that I overlook in this configuration. There's a lot of things to do, and because it's not a pre-made configuration particularly, there might be a lot of manual work and working stuff out as we go. So while people start to trickle in, it looks like there are people arriving, so we'll hold off starting too much just yet. I'll have a little tidy up. Just so you know, all the STL files for the mods that I've done are available via the links in the description, so they're all on my GitHub. As Voron's open source, all the modifications are also open source, so you don't have to pay for anything. So you can undertake any of my modifications as you like. I did take the 5-volt power supply out again, Don't know how many times I've put that thing in and out now. But obviously we're powering the Raspberry Pi direct from the Pico using that 5-pin cable that also does the UART. So nice simple configuration there in terms of wiring. I'm sure we're not going to have, hopefully, any issues with the setup as well. Just having a little tidy up here so I've got some space. Where is everyone? I think YouTube might be dealing with live streams differently at the moment. I'm not sure quite what's going on. Or just nobody's interested. Why? Why you do this to me? So this is one of the slightly thicker pieces. Hopefully that's going to sit on that corner nicely. Yeah, 3mm. So I've printed some of the 3mm panel pieces, but I must have been doing it while I was very tired and missed a whole bunch of them. So I've got some of them, just not many. Nearest streaming true, too. Oh, darn it! Why do I always get the timings bad? I'm guessing if he was streaming first, then that's going to be. What's he doing? Let's go and have a nose. Oh, also V0.1. Also in green. So, yes, firmware. Right. So I've made myself a little bit of a list, but it's been a while since I've done this. So first thing we need is some instructions, probably. You can kind of wing it mainly, but I'll show you roughly what's going on. So I'm going to be installing mainsail. So instead of just installing Klipper like manually, they have like a pre-built Raspberry Pi configuration, which will make things a little bit easier for all that setup. Shall I just put this on me? How about that? Ooh. So I'm pretty much just going to follow that. So as you can see, you can do the kind of pre-built image, Klipper with updates or manual. So I'm going to go straight for the mainsail, and then I'm going to use Raspberry Pi Imager. So these are instructions for doing that. I've done this a few times before, so if you've watched live streams, you're probably familiar with this process. Oh, what's happened there? Okay, so ooh, look at that, perfect match. So we just want to choose our operating system. Oh, we have to have downloaded it. So you can download it here, the mainsail OS release. Don't unpack the zip because you don't need to, apparently, so don't worry about that. Mine should have downloaded by now. There we go. So open that. We'll choose the storage, which is a 8GB SD card. And I've also configured, if you use Control-Shift-X, the advanced options, SSH with a password and also password for Wi-Fi. So you can save that, and that'll then build it like directly into your installation. Hopefully this is not going to crash the stream, but it might go a bit wobbly because I've not done this in advance, so it's going to happen right now. If it does cut out a bit, I do apologise, but I will be back as this is finishing. This might take a little bit of time. So that's all that for those instructions, doing that, doing that, doing that. And then we move on to the first boot. We'll worry about that in a second, I think. So we do have to kind of wait for this to happen now because I've not done it already, as I said. Normally I do, but today I have not. So I can work on finishing off some of these bits, like installing these thicker corners. So let's just heat these, get the stress out. Just realised I'm really warm. Oh, weird. Is that on YouTube? Must have been. Yeah, not sure why that happened. What I might do. Change the title. See if the title is what's putting people off. Don't know. Sometimes it can be funny like that. I think as well, if you use the same title and similar thumbnail, or similar title and similar thumbnail, YouTube seems to like think it's a copy and just doesn't show anyone that it exists. I've heard that that can be a thing, so maybe that's what I'm falling into. It shouldn't matter too much that somebody else is streaming. There's obviously a whole world of people that could be watching. They wouldn't all necessarily watch somebody else instead. %31 done on the firmware. So what length screws is going to be appropriate now? That's 8. Is that going to be too long? No, that looks perfect. That's 10, that probably will be too long. As well. I'm just going to, excuse me, go through the bag of appropriately sized screws. Then I don't have to search for them. 38%. I can't believe I didn't do this beforehand. Normally I do, just didn't manage to have time to do that today. Yeah, it's the straight parts that I'm missing. I suppose I could start that print now with those if I can find them. So that's the middle clip. It says we want 9, so we'll get 9 going. It'll take a little while to get started, but that'll be good to have done. Currently 52% complete on that. Getting there, slowly but surely. This is for here, so we can do this piece. Oops, a daisy. That one down. Is that? That one looked like it was 3mm already. Oh, that was probably okay. Weird. Oh, because it's one of the old ones. Okay. We don't have the hinge pieces, but we're not worried too much. I haven't even got a side panel on here. Don't have that hinge either. %. This 100% wish this had happened beforehand. We're getting there. At least we're doing stuff at the same time. So that can go, let's do it on the side. Oh, that's the wrong direction. Why don't we add can add some more prints into this. Oh, Wi-Fi is going absolutely bananas. It's just the printer can run, but I've just completely lost connection to it. Oh, okay, well that's just going to carry on and do its thing then. Oh, this is the wrong way as well. They are slightly different. Nope, that's missed the screw. "12 viewers, this is bizarre. I swear it's something that YouTube is doing. It's just not having impressions or something." Okay, it's just verifying, and then we'll be ready to do some more firmware. Should we look at slicing a file for this as well? So, oh, wrong one. We should have in here V0. Why is that so annoying? There we go. So we'll probably go for ABS. See what that should come out like. "48 minutes. Okay, let's improve that. How are we doing? 98%, okay. Looks like we're ready to do this. Okay, cool. Right, so that's that process done. We should be able to now put this into the Pi. Whoops, see. So we've got that right in here, tucked behind there. Should get power just fine. So let's get some power. So we've got this LED blinking constantly. That will be expanding the file system and such and such and such. Then we're looking for this. So let me just go and find out what the IP address is. Hopefully it's going to connect to Wi-Fi okay. I think it's still expanding the file system or doing other such and such things. Here we go. 111, very nice. What? Is it still doing something? Is it just broke? Well, this is great. What the hell? I'm guessing today was a bad time. Null name is saying the Moonraker API is broken. And that's going to affect fluid and mainsail, isn't it? Okay, it looks like we're alright. So let's upload. Oh, this is weird. It doesn't have anything at the top. Okay. This is just what I tried. Did I type it wrong? Nope. Yep, sorry about that. Okay, yeah, it says to do that here. I should have just followed the instructions. That would be a good idea. So as you can see, square brackets to do that. Save and restart. Once you've successfully navigated, strongly recommend that you run any available updates. Recommended that you enable and use the built-in update manager to perform any system updates. Oh, that's the other printer. Here we go. Okay, so we're into diagnosing configuration now, that's okay. Klipper has an update and system has an update. I'm probably not going to update maybe right now, just for timing reasons really. So now we have to struggle through configuring this. Well, actually, I think what we'll do first is we need to be able to connect to the control board itself. So what we need for that is to flash the Pico with an appropriate firmware. So on the BTT SKR Pico GitHub, there are some instructions, which are all reasonably well laid out, includes wiring and stuff as well. You can use one that's pre-configured, which would probably be fine, but for purposes of demonstration, I'm going to use the manual version. So to do that, we need to connect to the Raspberry Pi. via SSH. And I've been told you can do that via VS Code. I was just trying to set that up before this video, but for some reason it wasn't working, and I think it might be something to do with the fact my Wi-Fi is a little bit dodgy, or it might just be that I'd not configured it quite right. So let's follow through these instructions for compiling, and we'll build. So we've got that. Load the microcontroller with the configuration below. So if we follow this, you'll see that it tells you to, well, prepare the OS image and then connect via SSH and then run these commands to configure. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to use PuTTY just because I'm familiar with it. There are lots of other options. 192.168.1.111. So this gives us a window. Oh. Don't think you can zoom in on this. Control Shift, Alt, no, Shift. No, it doesn't seem to be. Okay, so the easiest way to do this, you can type the commands out, but the easiest way is definitely to just copy and paste them from here. So it's changing directory to the Klipper directory, and then running the make menuconfig command, and that will bring up this little menu. And you've got to use the arrow keys to navigate this. And then we go back here and it'll tell you what settings you need to use. So enable extra low level configurations needs to be enabled, and that puts the star in there. Microcontroller architecture is not at Mega AVR. We need to change that to Raspberry Pi RP2040. And then communication interface. So if you're using the USB-C cable to connect directly to the Pi and then power the Pi separately, then you would use USB. If you're using the 5-pin cable that I'm using that does the power and UART connection, then you change this to UART. Not sure what the baud rate would be, and it doesn't actually say in the instructions, so I'm going to just leave it as default, and fingers crossed we are okay. So then we just press, you can see down here, Q to quit, and then it asks you to save, press Y. So that saves a config, but it doesn't actually do anything, it just tells it how to do it. And then we run the command make, so you can just type that. So the Klipper.uf2 file will be generated in a specific folder when the make command is finished, and you can use the Windows computer under the same LAN as Raspberry Pi to copy to the computer. The terminal may prompt that the server's host key is not cached and ask store key and cache. Please type yes, and then it will ask for password. I'm going to use Winscp to copy the file, just again, that's what I'm familiar with. So there you go, you can see, finished creating the file. Now we can close that session, and we're going to create a new one in a different software called Winscp, which is just a more visual way of browsing files on a remote session. So we're going to create a new session. Hostname is going to be our new site. 192.168.1.111. We can put Pi username and password in, but it always just asks you anyway, so. So the files on the right here are the ones on the Raspberry Pi, and the ones on the left are the ones on the computer. So we're going to put this in the Voron mods livestream folder. And from here we can, oh, it's 47 minutes, we should do a quick, okay, let's copy this file and then we'll do the sponsor thing. So it's located in Home, Pi, Klipper, Out. And we're looking for clipper.uf2. So you can literally just click and drag, and that'll copy it over here. This is obviously to this computer, now you can use it from here. So we're going to do a quick ad segment now, and then we'll flash this firmware to the control board. This video is sponsored by BigTreeTech, Bondtech and PuTTY. The SKR Pico is a brand new control board from BigTreeTech that, despite its tiny size, packs quite the punch, making it an ideal fit for a small form factor 3D printer like the Voron V0.1. A Raspberry Pi RP2040 chip is used as the main controller, with TMC2209 stepper drivers for the X, Y, Z and E axis, with 2 plugs to support dual Z printers. The built-in heatsink gives a computer motherboard kind of styling and helps to cool the drivers a little bit too. Klipper has been considered in the design as well. A TPS 5450 gives up to 5 amps continuous current at 5 volts for a Raspberry Pi, and the included cable makes for easy installation via UART. There's also a replaceable fuse, thermistor short circuit protection, Japanese Murata capacitors, USB-C, and it matches the Raspberry Pi's footprint. You can get yours or find out more via the link in the description. The LGX Lite is a tiny new extruder from Bondtech, which implements their large gear design to provide increased filament grip. On the top, the filament pre-tension lever provides consistent and repeatable filament engagement, while the open sides gives access to all the gears, allowing for easy maintenance. 4 mounting patterns using M3 nuts provides plenty of mounting options, so its compact, light design and use of NEMA 14 stepper motor make it a great contender for direct drive on high-performance 3D printers. Find your local reseller via the link in the description. UK-based PuTTY specialises in parts and upgrades for 3D printers like the Voron V0 and 2.4. The kirigami bed, sun-on fans, titanium backers and spherical bearings are just some examples of the range of specialist parts available. Check out their shop via the link below. So the next thing to do is to set up the Pico so that it's ready to have firmware flashed. And it's a little bit more involved. Unfortunately, the boot pins, which you have to put a little jumper over, there's jumpers included in the box with it, so you don't need to get any of those separately. It's covered by the Raspberry Pi. So it's just under here, just there. So we can now put that over those pins there. Insert boot pins and click reset button. So reset's obviously down here. That would assume that it's powered on, I think. If you want to use USB to power the motherboard, you need to insert a jumper on USB power. When there is 12 24-volt supply, it's best to remove. I guess what would be useful is if we use the USB power one, which actually you wouldn't need. Because I'm just going to, I'm obviously only doing this for the flashing. So let's try it over here. Oh, do you have to do both? Yeah, let's do both. So let's put one on there. It just saved me having to keep this mains power plugged in while we flash it, I think. Should be enough power to just... What I will do is unplug the Raspberry Pi from the control board while I do this, because we don't want it to power that, because that will almost certainly draw too much power from the computer. So jumper over there, jumper over there, USB-C cable. You can't see any of this. Silly me. So I've removed one screw up here so we can rotate the Pi out of the way. One of the jumpers is here, it's this red piece here, which would normally be covered, and then the other one is up over here. This is the one for the USB power, so you can just power it by mains and not use that, but for me, while I'm doing this live stream, getting that mains cable to where I need it to be might be a bit of a pain. So we're just going to stick that over there, and then we've got this main USB cable, which we should be able to just plug in, and that should work fine. So I'm going to move this now to somewhere where this USB cable will reach, hopefully. Oops, oh dear, this is not easy. Okay. So as it says, connect the USB-C to the computer. You'll see a USB flash drive, so hopefully we can find that. So that's this here. Copy Klipper USB, Klipper UART, or my custom made one. So let's get my custom made one, which is this one, Klipper.uf2. So Control C, Control V. The motherboard will automatically reboot and update the firmware. The computer will re-identify this USB flash drive, means the firmware update is complete. Unplug the boot jumper and click the reset button to enter normal working mode. So that's unplug the boot one and go into normal working mode. And we should probably then see it connect up here again. But I'm just going to unplug it completely because we're not going to be using USB. So that's that job done. Move it back over here and put it back to normal. So USB-C cable now removed. We can remove that jumper as well. Rotate this back down into place and screw this back in. So that's now all in place. No jumpers installed now. So we can put those away. Remember to plug this back in, and that's now should be normal operating mode. So we'll plug in the power, turn it on. Hopefully we're good to start getting that sorted. If you give me 2 seconds, I just need to do something. Okay. So now we've got to do a bit more of the involved configuration. So with it turned on, you should have the web interface all start up, and we know what that looks like this. That's where things start to get a little bit more complicated. So what I'm going to do actually, before we go too much further, I need to do this as well. So actually let's try this command just to check that everything worked as intended. So again, we're going to run PuTTY for that. Great. That's not great then, is it? Oh, it's not applicable for UART. That's what I thought. I thought that was like a USB serial list. Okay. Configuring Octoprint to use Klipper. We don't need to worry about that, I don't think. Refer to Klipper's official to configuring Klipper and using configuration file SKR Pico as the underlying CFG, which includes all the correct pinout. So let's just make sure we get this bit right. If you're using UART0 to communicate, you need to modify the following files by inserting the SD card into the computer or by SSH and wiring reference. And wiring reference here, what the hell's that all about? Okay, weird. Remove console serial in there, and at the end of that. Right, I don't know off the top of my head the commands to modify those files on the Pi via SSH. So I'm going to turn her off and modify them manually. Hopefully I can manage this. Doesn't like that, did it? So it should all be in here, I believe. In boot command line.txt. Remove console. Oh, it doesn't have console 0 0 0. But that looks like a baud rate which we may have to add. Add that at the end of config.txt. Hopefully this is okay. Oh, shit, cancel. So, close. So then we've got to do this bit on the printer's setup once it's done. So SD card back to the Raspberry Pi. Turn it on and launch the web interface. This should come back. Might take a little minute. Oh, sorry, John, I never responded to your comment. I read it and just didn't respond. You've not missed a whole lot. We're just covering firmware setup, as you probably noticed. I don't think I've done much else. We took 20 minutes to add the install stuff onto the SD card to burn the image to the SD card. So you didn't miss too much. So, printer CFG. Is this what I've forgotten what I was going to do? Yes, there was an instruction, wasn't there? Here. Modify the configuration of MCU in printer.cfg to serial dev tty dat. So, to that. So, in here, if we control F for MCU, we may not have one. We do. And it's already set up for that. Interesting. Good, 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 good. Now, the smart thing would be for me to double check things against my old configuration. But I didn't export my configuration before. We can probably just grab the SD card. I can't remember. Will that? We could just boot it up can't we? We only need a... Let's do that. I'm going to grab a quick power supply for the Raspberry Pi. That's USB-C, that's not going to work. Let's grab a different power supply, that won't work. So, I'm just going to boot up the old Raspberry Pi so I can look at the config file, because that's going to be the best reference for me, I think, to get everything working the same as it has been previously. It should boot up okay. It just obviously won't connect to any control board because there's nothing else connected, but it'll allow us to look at the configuration file. Surprised you don't keep your Klipper configs on GitHub or something. Yeah, probably would be a good idea, wouldn't it? I did export one for the rat rig and the Voron, because I did that for the video to share with everyone. This one I never really modified much, so I didn't bother. But obviously, would have been a good idea. I can't actually recall the IP address for this one either. One fluid pi 123 109 108 111 123. I thought 109. I'm so confused. Okay, 109 was the old one. Okay. That's why I couldn't connect on 109 earlier, because it didn't exist. What a dipstick. Oh, panel clips are done there. That's nice. So, this is the old Voron. Well, it's the same machine. But we can now look at this configuration file on this side of the screen. While we have this on this side of the screen, and it will hopefully help us get everything set up appropriately. The question is, can we zoom in to make it easier to view? We can. We cannot here. Oops. Oh, it's in a really weird order. Okay, so I'm going to change the order of this because it's confusing like this. So we're going to put printer right at the top to match the old one. Includes, then printer. Oh, we're going to put MCU up the top as well. We don't need this lot because that's for USB configuration. Don't know why that's highlighted weirdly. Max velocity. Cool, these are higher than original. We'll put the square velocity in. Step X configurations. So these are all going to be different pins because it's a completely different control board, but the steps and rotations should be the same. Full steps for rotation, I believe the default is 200, so you probably wouldn't need to add it in there. We'll check the end stops in a bit. this is position max 235, and they're calling this a configuration file for a Voron 0. Good luck with that. So position end stop for me is at 116, and position max is also 116. Homing speed 50, that's fine. Homing retract distance and homing positive direction. So add those in as well. URL address, interpolate, run current 0.5. They're going quite high on that, but I'm going to put it back down. In fact, let's keep it at 0.8 and just add a comment. What's comment on this is this. Just 0.5, that's fine. Hold current. I have a feeling these motors might get pretty hot like this. In fact, I might do it the other way around. Good idea to remove all hold currents. Sense resistor, I'm not sure. I think that's for sensorless. That would be my guess, but I'm not sure. Stealth chop threshold. I'm going to put these at 0.5. And this at 0.25. No, it was 0.6, wasn't it? I'm going to assume I'm going to put that at 0. Drive, I'm not sure what this is all about. So again, for Y, we'll add in steps per rotation, positions, max, homing speed, retracts. Put this instead of here. Stick that in there then. Step Y, your address, run current. This is the same thing again, isn't it? Run, hold, stealth chop. Copy them from here. This has that for Y. Rotation distance 8, microstep 16, end stop pin, position max 250. Oh, Big Tree Tech, come on guys. You can't be putting in values like this for and calling it a V0 configuration. You've got to test a little bit more. I can't remember why I had position min as negative, but we'll keep it the same. Homing speed reduce a little bit. Step Z. Run current, sense resistor, stealth chart. I'm going to put all of these as these. extruder. Olaf, you might be able to provide some better insight here. You provided rotation distance, so for that 5.69. It's a 1.8 stepper, so we continue full steps per revolution as this. Max steps, nozzle diameter, filament diameter, heater pin, sense type. Bosh. The reason for recommendation of interpolation false and removing hold current is that lowers accuracy or repeatability. I would agree that it does. I think the extent to which it does, because obviously I think when you use hold, it rounds to a number of microsteps or something. 0.65 for extruder current. Oh yeah. I wrote that down. Did I? Yes. Max 1.45 to 0.65 recommended. It's on 0.65. I would probably put that as disabled though. Pressure advance, max extrude, min temp. Let's put those. Oh, hang on. Max temp should be 270. PIDs, I don't know why they're in there at all. We'll do those later on. Pressure advance, smooth time. I mean, the fact that we've got pressure advance on 0 makes it sort of irrelevant probably, but. Do we need this gear ratio? That seems odd thing to have if you've got rotation distance. Maybe it's for calculation of some other parameters. Yeah. True, that's like a hold current is when you're kind of like a sleep mode current, I guess. Stealth chop. We don't want stealth chop enabled though, do we? We want this back at 0. Filament sensor switch. Oh no, hang on, before we go that far. Extruder driver. Extruder hold current, so that's for the LDO one. Sense resistor. Stick this in again. Stealth chop. Threshold 0. BTT, so copy the sensor across. PID. Max temp. They've put 130 as a default maximum temperature. And they've got fucking PID values in here again. Bye bye. We'll put the smooth time in. I can't remember what it does, but we'll keep it as we've got it there. Min temp, max temp. I'm not sure you need a min temp for a bed. Oh, is that the bottom of that configuration file? Okay, blimey. So we'll copy this whole thing, because that defines what we've just added above. No, I like these commenty things, they're nice. Fan, pin, this. So we need to make sure we've got our fans connected to the right pins. Not labelled on here. probably not going to be. No, that's what I just opened. Pins. Hang on, this is what I was looking at on the other page, isn't it? On the instruction manual. So was that? I was just being blind. No, it's not on the instruction manual. So, fan 1 is 17, 18, and then 20. So that's just general fan. Controller fan, that's what we want. Although we don't want it as a heater fan, I don't think, do we? There's heater fans and there's temperature fans. So the controller fan's going to come on when the bed is at 45 degrees. I mean, I guess that's not stupid. Kind of makes sense. Hot end fan will come on when the extruder is 0. But these are in weird plugs. Why is that one on 20? Well, okay. Right. Let's flip this back around. Got to make sure we don't unplug it because we're still working on it. So we've got the part fan, which is the part cooling fan, as 17. Hot end fan is 18 and controller fan is 20. Okay, that is right. So the fan, the basic unlabeled fan, is what's going to be controlled by the G-code. That's all right. So we need some instructions for homing. Was this Pico? Okay, it's a Klipper configuration. It's not a V0 configuration. So when I was moaning about the configuration for Big Tree Tech not being appropriate for a Voron V0, it's not for a Voron V0. It's just some configuration for Klipper. It includes all the pins, so kind of fair enough. Maybe they have over-specified regardless. I think have I missed a message? Thanks, Olaf. Cheers. Idle timeouts, screw locations, that's fine. Oh, but these might need to be adjusted a bit since I did move some other things, but that's okay. And then macros are all in a separate thing. We're going to enable force moving stuff. Let's copy this. Skew correction, BL touch. We're not going to use BL touch at the moment. And then we got this kind of pre-configured stuff down here as well. I mean, we can go and put it in other places, but it gets read in basically the same way as far as I can understand. So I think this kind of pre-formatted thing is just so the system can read it and modify it, but it's just the same as anything else anywhere else as far as I can tell. So this is all my, I mean, this is going to be irrelevant now, position end stop, because it's all going to have moved, but in fact, I'm just going to delete that. PID values and skew. Okay. There we go. Let's see what we get to. Shared TMC UARTs need unique address or select underscore pins polarity. Okay. In fact, before we do that, let's... Oh, where's that arrow gone? Just going to take a quick shot of this. Don't need this now though, that's... I think that's probably good to go, but we'll leave it there. Okay, dokie. This is confused, isn't it? Shared TMC UARTs need unique addresses. So it looks like these pins might be shared or something. I'm going to disable this interpolate, by the way. Let's just get rid of that. UART address 0 for X, for Y there is no UART address. UART address 2, Z, no UART address. Extruder UART address 3. Just copy this and have a find. Y is 2, X is 0, extruder is 3, Y2, 0, 3, 2. So I'm presuming this should be 1 because it's the only other one between 0 and 3. I think we can have a quick look on here, see if I just copy and pasted over it. Yeah, I might have copied and pasted over it by accident. So step Z UART address 1. Save and restart. And then it will give it another check. Tell us the next thing. Unknown pin chip name probe. So let's copy that and have a look for that. Oh, because there's no probe enabled, so I'm guessing we're gonna use these two instead. I mean, position and stop will work out afterwards. Let's try that. If we'd had the BL Touch enabled as a probe, then I guess that would have been fine as it was. Option position end stop in section step Z must be specified. Oh, okay, so it looks like you have to set it as 0, even though you don't know what it is. Where are we here? Control F, position end stop. Next, next, next. Here we go. Now we're cooking with gas. So we can do end stops like straight away. Let's just do that. It's an easy one to do. Hold it down, refresh it, X triggered, excellent. So Z triggered, Y triggered, Cool. XYZ end stops. Good. Ooh, look at that. We've got any lights? Oh, we've got one light. Why is it just one? There's a whole array of LEDs. Just lit up one of the lights. Run out sensor. Okay, I think it's enabled a sensor for E. X, Y, Z, E. Oh, filament switch sensor, run out sensor. Bosh, bosh, bosh. We don't have one enabled, so. What I've just realised I've forgotten is to tension these. Oh, let's tension it the right way though, eh? That's like a guitar string that's too tight. We want them to make the same noise. They never will because they're different lengths. Right, they seem pretty even now. Pretty even and pretty tight, so I'm just going to tighten those down. I mean, they're probably a bit tight, actually. But so that's part cooling fan. Temperatures all look appropriate. I want to add in a. I'm going to go get it from here. So this is my RAT OS install. I can't remember what the command is. I want this set center kinematic position macro. It's not in there. It's not going to be in the shell macros. Extruders? No. Printers. Printers. This. Nope. Equal 3. Macros. No. let's just go find out what the command is. That's might be quicker. Config reference. There we go. Enable force move. Set kinematic position. Wrong printer. So I'm going to check the motor directions. So to do that, at the moment they're all set as nothing because they need a home. So I'm going to manually move them to an approximately central position or somewhere where I can move them a little bit without moving them too much. I'm not tuning the belts with ADSL. I've not heard of tuning a belt with an ADSL, but I'm going to do the, you know, the tuning. I've forgotten what it's called. Oh, come on. Input shaper, that's the one. And we'll probably do that next time. I'm thinking today we'll get all the base configuration set up so we can print and everything works. And then next time, I think, which will be Friday, we'll do a tuning ADXL for input shaper and we'll see how fast we can print a benchy. I think that's going to be the plan. So if we set this, that should set everything. You can see those have gone blue and we can now move the axes. So you want to be very careful not to move these further than, well, very far, because you definitely don't want them to come move beyond, because there's no limits. It doesn't really know where it is now. I can't believe I've got one LED lit. That's kind of hilarious. So X positive. So X axis is obviously going that direction. So that should be X positive. So if I press that, that's totally wrong. I think we didn't set those kinematics right, did we? When we copied that configuration, I copied what it used to be. We need to put this in because it's not set to core XY. You can tell that because it moved diagonally when I pressed the move, and individual motors will always move diagonally in core XY. Here we go, it's on Cartesian, that's why. So we're going to overwrite all of that slot with all of that lot and delete all of that lot. Actually, while we're here, how many? Chain count. You have to put the number in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Bosh. Hang on. When did I save and restart? Now they should come on and blind me. It has not quite come all the way. The last one's green for some reason. Why is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 and I put 19. Well, it works, but it's just... Unless the LEDs are broken. See if I can rotate it so you can see what they're doing. Obviously I've put the LEDs in there in such a way. There you go. You can't actually see the green one. Why can't you see it green? Because there's so much white. But the last one is green. Color order GRB. It might be that the color order is different. This is red 0.3, green 0.3. I guess if we put that to red to 1, and that to 0, and that to 0, these should be all red. What? Okay. It might look normal to you, but if you can maybe just see, they actually go red, white, blue, red, white, blue, red, white, blue, red, white, blue. There's obviously more LEDs, so the indexing, counting, or whatever, is not appropriate. I've not used NeoPixels before, so I don't know how their counting is working, but obviously the reason it's doing, I think it's counting 16 or something instead of 19, because there's maybe 4 LEDs in each instead of 3, or I don't know, something like that. I'm going to copy NeoPixel here. We'll search NeoPixel. So the number of NeoPixel chips that are daisy chained to the provided pin, the default is 1, which indicates only a single NeoPixel. The pixel order required by the LED hardware. Options are GRB, RGB, BRG, GRBW, or RGBW. I think what I have are RGBW. I think that might be why. I'm going to try that. That would make sense. There we go. That looks sweet. It's just a green glow. I might turn the lights down so you can see the LEDs a little bit better. And it also blind me a little bit less, which, you know, that's nice. Oh, the camera's just going to compensate and it looks the same brightness. How can I... Oh. Close up it should be okay. It's the wide camera angle that looks weird. It's the webcam that's going to auto adjust. That looks pretty sweet. But I think our configuration is still not quite right because that is set to red. So I think it's going to be GRBW. GRBW, yeah. Now they should all go red. Boom, there we go. I wonder if we can do like unicorn vomit. So because we've got RGBW LEDs here, we have a white LED on there too, which means we can get a good white. Normally the only way you can achieve white is to just have everything else on full. But with RGBW, get an independent white LED. So you can just turn that off, that on, and then we'll have white. It's quite a warm white. That looks so good. Oh, it doesn't look as good on the camera as it does for me. It's so good. Loving that. Right. So that's a slight detail on the LED side. Let's get back to this kinematic position thing and getting the movement sorted. So if we close up on this again. Oh my goodness, that's bright. I'm gonna, it's like looking into the sun. It's also now a bit dark, isn't it? Let's just turn that light up a bit. What I can do now, because these LEDs are not just powered by voltage, they're actually powered through Klipper, you can set G-code commands that will then change the color of the LEDs. So if it's like warming up, you can put blue. If it's ready to go, you can put red. If it's cold, you can put green or whatever. Oh yes, position, that's what we're doing. So on the web interface, if I press 1, it should go that way. No! If I press 1 plus Y, it goes backwards. So Y is correct. X is opposite. Z is also opposite. So inverting Z is very easy to do. Direction, we just put that in front of that. For I'm going to go, oh sorry, you can't see. Initial startup, I'm looking for the motion helping thing, yeah. So we've got X going in the wrong direction and Y going in the right direction. Steps of swap A and B connectors. Thank you, James. Really need to work on, hang on, back in just a second. Okay, sorry about that. Just trying to work on preventing these bots from just constantly spamming my chat. So we need to swap the connectors around. So we've got to unplug, turn off the power. I'll do the safe way because I'm a good boy. Shut down. This should shut down. Give it a few seconds. Doesn't actually take too long. And then turn it off. And I've got to unplug it as well. So it's E, X, Y, Z, isn't it? So I'll take this one out of here, this one out of here, this one into here, and this one into here. And then apparently we should be good to go. The LED holders are mine on the GitHub, James, under the V0 mods section. Should be anyway. They're based on the baffled ones that I used in the Voron. I used a similar kind of concept and just modified them to fit up nicely into the top. They might be better positioned on the front rather than on the side, but here the wiring's easier, so I went for side mounted. Did I turn it back on? I have not turned it back on. Please turn on. Please turn on. Please turn on. Please turn on. Come on, please. Here we go. Lights, camera, action. Oh, this looks so much better to me than it looks on the camera. I don't understand why. It's got this really nice glow. It looks blooming fancy. So again, from here, we're going to do that same command. 14% load. Oh, I suppose it is a 0, isn't it? So we just press up to go back to the same command, set that, all back to 0. So we should have now X going positive that direction. No! What? Why? No, they're both wrong. So X is going to the left and Y is going to the front. So I need to either invert or uninvert both of them. Direction, change X. Direction, change Y. No, it's multiple little ones. It's just easier to print that way. You just one little one and then you attach them all together and glue them on. Well, they're not attached together, they're just attached to the inside. Oh, it's bright. And in fact, let's just turn this down. Oh, not 0.3.0. There we go, subtle light now. Right, let's try again. Set 0. X plus. Yes, that's correct. Y plus. Also correct. Z plus. Going down. Perfect. So let's check what other things it suggests doing in here. Start objects. I wish you could just browse through the headers. Stepper motors. That's what we've done. Home X and Y. How do I okay, I think I can just do this. Nice. Home Y. Nice. Home Z. This could get a bit dodgy. Ooh, blimey, Charlie. That was almost very dodgy. That needs to go down quite a bit. So if we move Z a bit, move X a bit. Yeah. It's actually not far off. Let's get these lights turned up a little bit again. It's getting a bit dark now. Let's do another quick sponsor segment as well. This video is sponsored by BTT Tech, Bondtech and PuTTY Please. The SKR Pico is a brand new control board from BTT Tech that, despite its tiny size, packs quite the punch, making it an ideal fit for a small form factor 3D printer like the Voron V0.1. A Raspberry Pi RP2040 chip is used as the main controller, with TMC2209 stepper drivers for the X, Y, Z and E axis, with 2 plugs to support dual Z printers. The built-in heatsink gives a computer motherboard kind of styling and helps to cool the drivers a little bit too. Klipper has been considered in the design as well. A TPS 5450 gives up to 5 amps continuous current at 5 volts for a Raspberry Pi, and the included cable makes for easy installation via UART. There's also a replaceable fuse, thermistor short circuit protection, Japanese Murata capacitors, USB-C, and it matches the Raspberry Pi's footprint. You can get yours or find out more via the link in the description. The LGX Lite is a tiny new extruder from Bondtech, which implements their large gear design to provide increased filament grip. On the top, the filament pre-tension lever provides consistent and repeatable filament engagement, while the open sides gives access to all the gears, allowing for easy maintenance. 4 mounting patterns using M3 nuts provides plenty of mounting options, so its compact, light design and use of NEMA 14 stepper motor make it a great contender for direct drive on high-performance 3D printers. Find your local reseller via the link in the description. UK-based PuTTY Please specialises in parts and upgrades for 3D printers like the Voron V0 and 2.4. The kirigami bed, sun-on fans, titanium backers and spherical bearings are just some examples of the range of specialist parts available. Check out their shop via the link below. Oh my god, this bot is just getting on my tits. Excuse my language. It's getting a bit ridiculous, isn't it? So I found a slight problem. As it homed, the carriage seems to be interacting with the drag chain. So I'm guessing compared to the previous position, the position of the bed relative to the end of the drag chain has changed. So when the bed's at the top, the drag chain is now like super duper high. We could probably remove a link, I'm guessing. and that would prevent that from happening. Not too worried about it immediately, but it's definitely needs to be changed. So it's going to go on the list. If I can find a pen to write with. So done homing. Mode configuration, bed locating, I'm not too worried about. So we need to level the bed, that's basically what we need to do, I think. Bed screws adjust. Actually, we need to abort. Because we need to add in le print surface. I'm going to heat up the nozzle. Ooh, not 1200, 200, thank you. Just got to wait for the nozzle to heat up. There's some interesting smells going on. Hopefully not too bad overall. Okay. Nozzle's warm now, so let's try this again. So we tell it that we adjusted it. And then it goes to the next one. did that collide with? Oh, this blooming drag chain. It's going to be a problem, isn't it? It needs to be shorter. Shorter. Shorter, shorter, shorter. That might not be super easy to do, but we do need to do it because nothing is going to work without doing it. So we'll turn this off again. Not too sure how I'm going to achieve this, to be honest. It's going to be quite difficult, I think. Now I need to somehow get a prying something in there to remove one of the linkages. Hopefully do so without stabbing my own fingers. This is not going to be easy. Oh no, that's not too bad. We've got one. Oh, we can't remove it though because we can't open the link. We have to put the cables back through in order to do that. Or we just cut it out. I think it's going to be, height-wise, we could probably remove two, to be honest, it seems. Well, let's cut this one out. I think that should just miss. It's in the highest position, so now we've got to reattach the thing. Also, not easy. Alright, so we've destroyed one of the linkages, but that should be okay. Now we just need to wait for it to turn back on again. So let's try homing everything. And let's preheat the nozzle again. That. And then we'll go straight for the homing bed screw adjustment command again. Okay, that's at temperature, so we'll run this. I think for the bed it expects it to be done cold, and then it compensates for it itself somehow. Normally I would, but I'm pretty sure Klipper always asks for it to be done cold. Here's the paper test, just the bed screws, here's the thing, once the screws adjusted, so a small amount of friction, After the bed screws adjust command, quick entry, QGL. Oh, the Z offset adjustment. I suppose it doesn't really matter for this, does it? Because it's all manual anyway. Yeah, okay, we'll heat the bed as well. Just a good idea. Just looking for some ABS Plus, because we've not got it enclosed. I'm not sure ABS is going to be a great first print. I think the only ABS Plus is... Oh no, there's that red. Let's do that red. This is ABS Plus. Yes. Oh, I need to install that properly. I haven't confirmed extruder direction yet. Although that shouldn't be too difficult to do, because I can see the gears. So let's just do And that is indeed the wrong direction, so thank you for mentioning. But we'll do this first. That's that one. So we go adjusted, and it moves to the next. And it's not actually on the bed, so we need to adjust that. So we need to work out our new positions. Because if these aren't right, then we can't adjust the bed very well. We can still adjust it. We can just move it to the right place, can't we? But let's get it bang on. So Y for the back ones is at 107. For the front ones, oh, that's Z. Okay, that's basically at maximum. So Y0. And then for the X direction, we've just got the back ones to deal with. So Y right to the back. So X 106. Oh no, we need to get to the front as well, don't we? X9, and in the middle, the front. There are some odd noises going on. I'm not sure what it is at the moment. $64. So now if we go into our configuration settings, should find the probe locations. Here we go. So the front screw is at 64.0. The back left screw will be at 9, 105, 107. The back right screw is at 116, 107. All the fans look like they're coming on as they should as well, so that's good. Just let the bed get up to temperature and then we'll adjust the bed screws again. "48 minutes at the moment. Do it ABS plus. Slightly fewer top and bottom layers. Is that going to be faster? Should be faster, right? 44. The bed's taking a little while to heat up. Okay, let's carry on trying to slice this. I'm actually going to go back to 3 walls. Oh no, we only had 2, so let's put 3 on. So we're going to try this at something really crazy. Maybe not really, really crazy, but... Okay, this is going to be hot enough. Let's try some more adjustment. Bed screws adjust. Bed screws adjust. So it's like some sort of superhero thing, didn't it? That's very tight. There's that one, adjusted. This one. Adjusted. Then we go around the circles. Adjusted. Right, what was that slicing time? 42 minutes. How are we not getting much faster? That would feel. Is it because it's really thick? Yeah. Flow rate's crazy high. It's like 24 peak. I'm not sure it's actually going to achieve that, to be honest. We'll give it a go. We're going to do some more printing at high speeds if I can later in the week, provided everything's working okay and we got all the panels and stuff on. So today is just a bit of a sample, really. That's made it slower. Okay, that sort of makes sense, I suppose. We're not getting that 24. That's maybe like 12. 10. Why is it only 10? Do we really need to go that much faster? Speed. What if we just put them all at 0? I think then it just maxes it all out to this. If we put this at 15. Probably shouldn't have saved that, but it doesn't matter. It's a modified profile. That's now 60 minutes. How is it getting slower? Because it's doing these at 0.02. Why? 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 Small perimeter speed, here we go. Still 43 minutes. How? This seems weird. It's only going 12 cubic millimeters a second. I wish there was something that would tell you why. disable those machine limits. It's now going super high flow, but still wants to take 42 minutes. How? Why? What is that estimate all about? I don't think that's right, is it? That estimate's got to be wrong. I think we'll give it a go. I think the estimate is just wrong. But I'm not confident that we're going to get 20 cubic millimeters a second out of this hot end. So we're going to have to slow it down anyway. Speed. I think 15 is going to be about the max. I also need to reverse this extruder, don't I? X, Y, Z, E. Direction, here we go. I don't know why it's still putting 24 here. What's the maximum speed set at? Cooling. Maximum feed rate's 500 millimeters a minute. That's pathetic, isn't it? Why is it on? Okay, right. This should be 300 millimeters a second times 60. 18,000. Let's try 15,000. Still 43 minutes. I don't understand. Well, let's give it a go and see what happens. Yeah, it won't send these to the printer. It's it's only for the estimate. But I'm not sure that this is going to take 43 minutes, but we'll give it a go. It should be going pretty fast as far as I can tell. We need to load the filament. So we've got to open this. We've got to get our filament. I might have mounted the spool holder a little bit low. Oh no, we're okay. Oh, it is a bit low. Hang on. So we should be able to push that. No, that's open, isn't it? There we go. That's engaged. I think this tube might be sticking out the top a little bit too far. Not too sure. Let's get it preheated. Just realised we need to probably set the cooling to like 80% or even 100% after the first 3 layers. Especially if we go fast, which it should be, I think. Right, getting close. I feel like we should have done a Voron cube, but never mind, we're doing a benchy. Especially if it's going to be in red. It might, for some reason, it thinks it's going to take 42 minutes, and oh dear, sorry, Streamlabs. Oh. Yes, You used one emote, it was like, that's spam. That's definitely spam. Sorry. It's because of these stupid bots. I'm trying to get it to a point where because they just keep using loads of emotes. No, I can't reinstate your message, unfortunately. Okay, those temperatures are looking good. Nozzle 240, bed 100. Print, what's the plan? 250, 110. Okay, so it's got to get a bit hotter yet. Let's send it. I'm starting to smell some funky things. Which is kind of good and bad, I suppose. Very much not prepared for this to go wildly wrong, although that's entirely possible. Yeah, I send it straight to Klipper. I'm not sure exactly which thing it is. Oh, unknown command. Oh, oh, I've not changed my... It's mainsail, cancel print, resume, pause. What? There's no print stuff. Oh my goodness. There's not, is there? Cancel, pause, resume, to head park. Okay. Where's my old configuration? I don't know how I missed those when I did that configuration. I just must have gone straight past them. Here, down to the bottom, add that in there, copy one of these, and rename it macros. I don't think it's just other people's streams, to be honest. I think it's something else. I've had other people streaming and still get 60 viewers, so it's... I mean, it's not like he's never done a V0.1 build before as well. It's, I don't know. He does get quite a few people there, doesn't he? Dashboard, let's get these back heated again before they go cold, because that'd be annoying. Print start, print end. I don't know why we've still got that in there. But you were streaming about VCore 3. What? Okay, see you later, James. Thank you for helping with the bots. If it's a respectable bench sheet, I'll post it. If it takes an hour and a half and looks like shit, then I might not. Would kind of like to put a panel on at least this side because I'm sitting right underneath it. Oops, there's it. It's not perfect, it's not finished, but it's on. Must temp axis first? What are you talking about? That was weird how it literally just boom, went straight away. So it is slower for these initial layers. And then we should go into turbo mode after the first layer. And the fans will kick on and it'll be party time. Oh, I had more when it was vehicle 3. Well, it might be, I mean, maybe people don't know me well enough for doing Voron things, I don't know. Flow is currently only around 4-5 millimeters cubed per second. It's on the second layer though, which is weird. It should be doing 12. Yeah, I've got to sort out some start G-code. The prime, for some reason, it just didn't happen, did it? It looks quite a bit over extruded, unfortunately. Can we adjust that on the fly? Extrusion factor. 95%. Speed factor. So 130% speed and 95% extrusion now. We need a bit more than 95%. Print quality does not look particularly fantastic, but I'm not sure why at the moment. Fan's only at 23%. That's just... Oh, each layer it's increasing it, isn't it? That's why. It's getting up to 160 millimeters a second at times. Flow rates up to about 9.6. Let's just bump the speed a bit more. It's not that fast, is it? Don't you think the clockwork systems are overcomplicated and inferior to, let's say, ever? Each their own. I mean, they want it to be 3D printable, don't they? The clockwork. Clockwork is the extruder for Voron, isn't it? So I get that right. And I think they're just more about having it entirely 3D printable. Where if you think about it, Ever is not an extruder. It's a system that holds extruders and hot ends to each other and to the carriage. It's not particularly fast, is it? I mean, it is 160 millimeters a second. It's just slowing down a lot. Oh, the accelerations are tiny. Here we go, now it's starting to sound different. Now we're cooking with gas. Bloody accelerations are at 2000. We're getting extrusion problems. There's some loose nuts on the frame still, and I can hear them rattle. Trying to monitor that flow rate. I'm not sure. We're not aiming for the fastest possible benchy today. We'll try and do that at a later time. Keeps turning down the fan speed for some reason. How much can you actually hear? I'm not starting again. This is just the first one. We will do more another day. It's just about finding all those different settings that limit you. You have to find them all and turn them all off one at a time. I mean, for me at the moment, there's plenty of rattling going on, and one of the panels is still completely open. The sound is about right, I think. It doesn't sound too bad, apart from the rattle. But that is plenty of loose nuts around the frame, I think. It is indeed printing. So for the frame and everything, I did Loctite during the assembly. For other smaller things, I've not really used Loctite in many places. What's the time so far? 20 minutes at the moment. Here's the settings I'm using at the moment. Over and above, obviously, what was done in the slicer. So 7,500 acceleration, 3,000 acceleration to deceleration, 300 max velocity, and 6 for square corner. He was sent here from Nero's stream. That was very kind of him. How did he know I was streaming? If he was in the middle of a stream, how did he know? Or did you just come here? You posted about it. Lovely. Yay, more people. So is my stream now like the "this is one I made earlier" kind of live stream? Is it like work in progress stage? So, and then this is what you get when you get to the end. Although this is obviously modified now. We are peaking at 15 cubic millimeters a second, but only for a very short time. Let's whack it up a bit more. 162% speed. Probably the speed is not going to make as much difference as acceleration. 8,000 acceleration. Because we're not reaching the maximum speed anyway. So increasing the speed factor I'm not exactly what that, I mean, that changes what is demanded, isn't it? Doesn't it? And it's going to be hitting peak acceleration anyway, so it might help with some of the lower end stuff, maybe? Not sure. It's not exactly the highest quality bench I've ever seen, not going to lie. I mean, one thing we can say is that the extruder and control board are both doing exceptionally well, and the bed is very stable. In fact, the whole thing is very stable. So for those that are just joining and not sure of what's going on, this is a bunch of V0 modifications. So I've done the BTT SKR Pico control board, the LGX Lite extruder from Bondtech, you can see right in the front there. The kirigami bed, which is a folded sheet metal bed, which you cannot see quite there. You can see a little bit of it just under the corner over here. I've changed the X-rail, but that's kind of irrelevant. I've added a hinge to the top hat, so my top hat now has a hinge on one side, like so. That's just a simple wad that I designed. I've added a hinge to the rear door, so access to that is a little bit easier. And in a number of places, I've used no-drop nuts, like this one, which is a little nut mod that allows you to place the nut into this, and then as you slide it in, it doesn't move, so not only do they not fall out the ends, but when you have, like after assembly like this, A, they won't rattle around, and 2, they don't slide out of position once you take the screw out. Did you try wiggle the tool head to see if the new rail helped? I haven't really. No, I haven't really yet. I mean, it's absolutely making a thunderous noise. We're up to 8,000 acceleration and 4,000 acceleration to deceleration. I'm not sure quite what acceleration to deceleration is, because acceleration and deceleration should be the same thing. I wish they'd add a jerk value, that would be good. Greetings from Switzerland. Greetings to Switzerland. I don't know why the fan keeps getting reset and I keep putting it up. Ernest, put it down again. Stop. Why does it keep resetting the fan? I'm guessing there's a G-code command on every single layer change to set the fan speed. So every time it changes, I have to reset it to 70%. I think Z-hop is disabled. I could check, but I don't want to interrupt everyone's view of the printing. Let's see if I can do it quickly. Oh, it's not going to interrupt the view anyway, it's fine. I forget where Z-hop is. Printer, general? No, printer extruder. No, there's no Z-hop enabled. How long has it been printing? 18 minutes, 45 seconds. I'd say that I'm not doing too bad considering I've never ever attempted to print anything fast. Literally never. I've always just gone for standard speeds. The quality is a little bit dodgy, I'm not going to lie. But that's, of course, no fault of the components used, it's just my slicing settings and my attempt to go crazy super fast. Don't know if Pico supports any screens. That's a good question. How do we find out? It probably does. I'm not exactly sure what. Depends how what pins you need, I guess. So there's a couple of spare pins from the laser and whatever WDDET is. Probe and servos. There's not specific ones, no. It doesn't seem to be. I'm not sure on what compatibility they have. The original build was an LDO motors kit. There's a whole bunch of streams on me doing that assembly, if you're interested to see. Feels like it's slowed down, I think, because the smaller they get, the more things like input shaper are going to help the whole process. We've got lots of very small layers now. It's making lots of weird noises. Up to 22 minutes, well, just about 23 minutes. It takes way too long to do this perimeter. Why can't it just do perimeters at the front? It's doing all this like extra little tiny infill bits, which I just don't need. Oh, I did put 3 perimeters on, to be fair. That's kind of my fault. I did start with acceleration on 2K. It was very, very slow. I quite like to disable gap fill. Seems a bit unnecessary. I don't know where that setting is. Yeah, I need the. Sorry, I keep sticking my head right in the front of it. Even with gap fill disabled, it still does some gap filling. Why? Why is this? I don't have input shaping enabled at the moment. I've not done that. I'll do that start next time, I think. I'm not really that serious about competing in speed benching. I think if I can go sub 15 minutes or just under 10 or something, that would be the best I would be interested in. Which I guess is still pretty quick. Why is it still doing all this extra stuff? Olympics will host speed benches. That would be hilarious. Definitely in need of pressure advance as well, I think. Ooh, this is looking squishy. Need more fan. It's gonna start crashing if it doesn't. Oh, what a beautiful bridge. I have to keep clicking the fan because it keeps setting it back to fucking 26% after every single living layer. It's still not... How do you stop it reading fan commands? It's just ridiculous. Stop going back to 24%. This is just dumb. Why would you do that? I know it's in the G code, but why is it in the G code? Why is it resetting it every single layer when it doesn't need to? Why not just set it and let it go until you need to change it? So it's also doing a lot of gap filling, which is just totally unnecessary. Here we go. Time for mushy. I turned the layer time cooling stuff off. What's our time going to be? 31 minutes and 20 seconds about. 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 31, 35. And that's 3 perimeters as well. I mean, it looks like garbage, but that's about half the time of a normal benching, because I normally print pretty slow. There's a fan making some weird noises now. There's some wobbling here. I don't think it's the carriage. Oh. So. Did it just home at the end of the G code? It did go down, didn't it? That's some dodgy end G code that I copied. What absolute maniac puts a home all axes in NG code? Oops, daisy. So there we go, that's what it looks like. A blur. I want to get it a bit closer, really. How can we do that? Quite often do it on top of my water bottle right in front of the camera. That'll work. There we go, that's enormous. Can we focus there? Come on. I mean, that looks pretty garbage to me. That was pretty quick. A lot of it is still quite well formed. It's still a respectable print without being... Maybe I'm in that terrible zone where it's not fast enough to be speed and it's not good enough to be amazing. So it just looks garbage and wasn't that fast. Must try harder. We need more fan, need more cooling. I couldn't change the cooling past 26% because the bloody slicer just keeps resetting it because of, you know, G-code. It does sound loud, doesn't it? It's this fan in the front. It's really annoying. I'm guessing one of the wires is just slightly touching the back of one of the blades. Yes, that's what it was. Pull the wire slightly and it goes away. It's amazing how a tiny little thing can make such a big difference, eh? Anyway, that's going to be it for me today. Thank you everyone for watching, and for those that jumped over after Nero's stream, good to see you all. Technically this is going to be the end of the series. I think I agreed to 5 episodes for doing this, so this will be done. But I am planning to do an extra one, where we'll look at trying to print a speedy-ish benchy. That's the plan-ish. So, and that'll probably be Friday evening thing. I think that'd be a reasonable time to do it. Eternity. Eternity, I'm told it took 35 minutes or something like that. It was not in the speed realm territory, but it's fast for me. That's the thing. It's an improvement. I'm gone from 55 minutes from basically most benches down to 35 in one step. Next we'll go down to 50, and then we'll go down to 10, and then we'll go down to 10 seconds. No. But yeah, I think it's a good start. We'll get there step by step. In the next stream, I think we'll look at doing things a little bit more optimally. We'll have an ABS material as opposed to ABS Plus changing cooling, changing slicing settings and all this kind of stuff to try and find something a little bit faster. Oh, is Nero's going to be the same time? But his stream time normally doesn't collide with mine. I think he's done a weird European time stream today because it normally wouldn't be close. Normally it's like 1 in the morning for me when he streams. So maybe he's doing 1 in the morning instead of the evening. Maybe that would cause that collision. Anyway, yes, that's it for me today. Don't forget to check out the sponsors in the link below. So the BTT SKR Pico, very dinky, nice little control board, great for a Voron V0 like this. The Bondtech LGX, which has done a bloody fantastic job printing this benchy. Reasonably fast, is very light, and grip has, I mean, it didn't slip or tool, so that's pretty good. We'll need to tune E-steps though, obviously, for my speediest benchy. And of course, PuTTY Please, who provided the kirigami bed. Right, thank you very much everyone. I shall see you in the next